602, but I had a buddy who was supposed to be coming today. Yeah, there's juice and water.
Alright everyone, we're going to get started. I just got a promotion. I used to be the doorman and now I'm the room quieter. That's actually a job. It feels like a promotion. Sergeant Barnes. I feel like I should know who that is. Sergeant Barnes.
David is not a promotion.
It's a sideways.
It's a lateral.
It's a lateral.
Okay. All right. I can deal with that, as long as it's not a demotion. So,
I should probably
turn off the music.
Tilt the stereo, you think? Just turn it down.
Just hit it.
Thank you.
Did I do it?
All right. So this is the Microbusiness Meetup. It's 6 o'clock, so we're going to get rolling. Fair warning, we are webcasting this. So we did that last time, but we're trying to ramp up the quality a little bit. And so, you know, if you don't want to be on camera, then this side of the room's best. Or
do we know if
is anyone watching? I believe Amy Victoria is watching today, so we can say hi to her like we did to Kelly.
Okay, hi Amy. Hi Amy. Amy's like, hi. We can't hear her.
So we'll see. Hopefully the quality will be ramped up a little. We had a little trouble getting everybody in the room on camera last time, so, and audio we'll try to do a little better with. Now we're doing the intros a little bit differently, as I think everybody probably has heard. Has anybody not written your kind of couple of points of interest on the back of your business card? All right, excellent. So Dave, you can mix those up and just start handing them one to the next.
Oh, you want me to just hand them?
Just hand them. No picking. Somebody will pick their own or something. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, if you get your own, you have to give it back, okay?
That sounds like a good rule. All right, so the idea here is that this is an informal kind of education/networking group. It's aimed at bringing together small businesses, freelancers, the self-employed, artists, entrepreneurs, anybody who's kind of in that super small business type mold. The idea is that we can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and hopefully discover synergies with other attendees and discuss common problems and successes that happen at this level of business. And by doing these two things, hopefully strengthen the kind of state of microbusiness right here in this room and close by.
Nobody would have heard that part because they're all reading the cards they got.
There's somebody else's elevator speech.
Right? You gotta throw something in the bus, man.
That is okay. That was all just filler. I say that every month. Next point is the LinkedIn group. Most people are signed up for it, but if you want to be able to continue kind of discussion that we have, find Microbusiness Meetup on LinkedIn. Try to kind of keep a couple conversations rolling, and hopefully we can continue to ramp up some activity on that. Next up is Paul. and CJ and myself are working on an event. This is not affiliated with Microbusiness. Well, yeah, sure it is. It is affiliated with Microbusiness. But the it's called a Breakthrough Brunch, and though I'm involved with helping set up the first one, I won't be there, so Paul is going to tell you what it's all about.
Okay. So what the series is all about is actually having a monthly series of events that, you can network and have some food and drink, meet new people like you do at most other meetings. But it's focused on having new ideas and promoting new ideas. So for our kickoff event, we're going to do a couple presentations, myself and CJ, and then have a specific kind of an exercise where the theme is called End the Stalemate. So for this event, it's really all about coming up with a new kind of bold, possibly seems a little risky way to actually demonstrate your expertise, demonstrate the kind of difference you're looking to make, demonstrate what you can do for people by actually doing it. So you'll be inventing some new way to do that, and you'll have the support, the material and thought support of the people around you. So you'll have groups of people who are there to support you and being effective in what you're doing, so you can put yourself out there, and you will be required to do that for other people. So not only will you come up with a new way to put yourself out there first, but you'll be doing that for people while we're doing the exercise, and you'll create whatever projects you create and move forward from there. So it's really about forward thinking. It's really about trying on new ways of approaching business and success and letting go of some old stagnant, unworkable mindsets and putting it in action as we go. And there will be some good grub. It's at Joe's Deli, in the back room at Joe's Deli on May 17th, so there will be some drinks available. The $20 beforehand, or $25 at the door if there's any room left.
There isn't one this Saturday, right? It starts May 17th?
It starts May 17th.
Okay.
And then it'll be like June 28th. That was one of the original dates.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, yes.
We changed the date a couple of times.
We were originally set up for April 12th.
That's what I thought.
It's not,
Which is coming
not happening. So I don't know if we're going to have a link available through the...
Yeah, through the follow-up through Meetup, there'll be a link. If anybody's hasn't attended through the Meetup setup, then that you can go to smallbizbreakthroughevents.com.
Yeah, you sign up through there. Again, there's only room for probably about 25 or 26 in that place comfortably, and it's not for everybody. Right? Some people aren't really comfortable what I do is, you'll find out when you pay me, I don't want to give away what I do. This is not the place. Part of what we're doing here is you will be providing, actually demonstrating something, and it's with no expectation of direct return. So if that's not for you, there's some other events you can check out. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's not what the event's about.
And now we're going to do this quick intro, a little bit different. But, John.
Yeah.
I guess, why don't you intro, and then we'll go next to you. Just keep it short. We've got something else going on for everybody else. So you can start.
So I just tell them
Tell them who you are and what you do. Keep it to 60 seconds or less.
Oh, all right. John LaBelle from L&L Media, advertising agency. Basically, I buy media and advise you how to buy media. Also teach you how to buy media on your own if you want. Basically, we can take all the gambling and risk out of advertising. So, John LaBelle, L&L Media.
Hey guys, I'm Josh Ramos. My wife and I have a small practice out in Niagara Falls. It's Ramos and Ramos. We focus in injury work and workers' compensation.
Cool. All right. Do you want to start? Okay, I'll start then. Oh, I've got your card, so. We all mixed up our cards and wrote a little bit on the back. No,
That was good.
I wish I was that good.
That was good.
I'm introducing Laura Reed, who's the owner of Buffalo Bites Food Tours. And it looks like her tagline is Eat, Explore, Experience Buffalo. We provide food tasting and historical walking tours of the city.
Okay, I've got Larry Sanger,
Solid Foundations Home Inspections, Inc.
Should we have people like raise their hands so we at least
Sure.
check out who people actually are?
So there's the Quality Home Inspections. They do quality inspections, reports within 24 hours, online reports. You'll like his tagline, "We got the hots for you. Home of solid service."
I have the card of David. You have to help me on this one. David
Oh, finicky?
Thimicky.
There you go. That's not me.
This must be my karma. I have terrible handwriting, so I'm having a really hard time reading on the back. Basically, he does custom software. He's been in business 16 years. Looks like one of his main focuses on healthcare startups. And I like this one line. He has fearless pursuit of better.
There you go.
All right, I'm introducing Scott Heigl. And he's doing continuous improvement, public speaking and communications. He's an operations manager and marketing and development.
All right, I've got Steve Wishman's card.
Right here.
And Steve is with Horizon Performance Solutions LLC, and they do performance coaching, team facilitation, strategic design, and leadership development for large and small organizations.
Perfect. Extremely well done.
I'm introducing Keith Wazalowski. He is an entrepreneur attorney. His business his practice focuses on working with small business owners. He assists business owners throughout the business life cycle, from startup to commercial transactions to exit strategies, and he helps owners structure their business either to operate it or to help transfer it.
You really wrote that out.
Like a radio spot, you know.
I set me spikes. I'm introducing Eric Hensman, Marketing Technologies of Western Europe LLC. And it's design it, animate it, print it, personalize it, mail it, mobilize it. Marketing Tech does it all.
All right, I've got Mr. Richard Keegan. Okay. With LearnWell Graphics. LearnWell creates user-friendly materials that help students ages 12 to 15 learn basic money skills and improve their reading skills at the same time. We do this by using graphic story booklets and CDs, and I just talked to you a little bit earlier, and that means comic books, which is great because that's how I taught my daughter to read.
And I'm introducing Michael Wild. And things that Michael is, he's a real estate attorney. Personal injury and guardianship and special needs, along with small business and corporate.
And I'm introducing Paul Greiner with ALS Leadership Consulting. On the card, he clarifies strategy, removes blind spots, and establishes breakthroughs for effectiveness. Now, since it's consulting, I would say he probably does that for you.
Well, specifically not for this group, actually. Steve Harbour.
Sorry about the handwriting.
No problem. I already worked my way through it while Neil was talking.
But do you remember what Neil said?
No. Well, except for the last 3 days that I've done too. Back from Inzacta, and he is an independent business owner. True health is determined at the cellular level. Power up your cells, and the body rebuilds and rejuvenates. Feed your cells with rechargeable nutrients. Thank you.
All right, Joe Design. I'm not sure if I'm introducing John or Jordan. Yeah. Okay. Joe Design has actually a very cool business card. They're graphic designers, specialize in conceptual thinking and visual problem solving. Joe Design.
I'm introducing Adam Keller of Hunt Real Estate. As you can tell by his card, he is a licensed professional. His office is on Elmwood, not too far from here. Adam
works the niche market, especially dealing with a lot of boomerangs and bounce backs, who are people that are coming back to Buffalo. He really connects by sharing his own personal experiences in that. He works with buyers, he works with sellers, also with real estate investors.
So Keith, what's the difference between a boomerang and a bounce?
I don't know. What is the difference? That's not written, but what is written is that the greatest compliment that Adam can receive is a referral from you, Dave.
Adam, you can tell us on Friday morning what the difference between a boomerang and a bounce back is. Okay?
That's great. Well, I have the honor to introduce someone that certainly is no stranger to anyone. Nickel City Graphics, his own Neil K. Carroll. Marketing agency for small businesses and organizations, of course, simplifies complex ideas through video, supports small business enterprise, small businesses and entrepreneurship, throughout the region. Neil Carroll.
Thank you.
Introducing Nickel City Technology and Consulting, Courtney Ham. Simple, straightforward, business and personal, assistance with computers and electronics.
Cool. I get to do Dave Field of Kaleidoscope Computer Services, and his theme is We Come to You. They do home and business IT support, and they've been in business for 9 years. That's an awesome thing.
Thank you.
9 years, yeah. That is
Today?
No.
9 years today.
Actually, not quite 9 years. 9 years August 1st.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have the same anniversary. Wow.
We've been repeating a lot.
Excellent. All right. Well, hopefully there's somebody else in the room that maybe you can kind of seek out after, if any of that kind of introduction, piqued your interest. And at this point, we typically will do the kind of Q&A part of the exercise, or part of the event. Anybody who's come before, I generally will just ask if anybody has anything they want to ask the group, and then you have, 16 or so people here who can answer your questions. So does anybody have anything to ask? Otherwise, we go to the stock questions, and then Dave's going to get it. Anybody?
I'm gonna what?
Dave's going to get it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh, John.
Where's the beer?
Yes. The beer's in the fridge in the back. That one is
that's quite a complex question.
Yes, that's an easy one. Yeah. So we'll go to Dave's question then. Dave posted on the group earlier and got a little feedback, but this is something that everybody deals with. So I guess it's an important question to cover. What do you or what should you do when a customer refuses to pay for a service that's already been delivered?
Hire Keith.
Hire Keith, yes. There you go.
Okay, so what happens if the amount of money that the customer refuses to pay is less than what it would cost to hire Keith?
Which could well be a possibility.
I mean, we're not talking a huge amount of money here.
Well, let's think about emotional damages. Let's think about
the Bills just paid $3 million for sending 3 extra texts.
3 extra text messages.
Yeah.
So
I think what you gotta do is find out why they're not paying first.
It can go over kind of what came back. That was Evan's suggestion. I think that was Evan, or I said something too, but figure out what their objection to payment is, and we talked about this. I don't know if you're willing to tell everybody.
Yeah, basically, it was the 3rd time that I had been to this client for what he claims was the same issue, and which I claim was 3 different issues. The 2nd time, I went back and it was fairly close to the first time, and so I just did it. When he called me the 3rd time, he specifically said, are you going to charge me? And I said, well, I have to see if it's a new issue or if it's an issue related to what I've already fixed. When I got there, within seconds, as soon as I looked at the screen, without even sitting in the chair, I knew it was a new issue. And I said to him, it's a new issue. And he said to me, okay, go ahead and fix it. I fixed it. When I was done, I said, okay, this is the bill. And he says, I'm not paying it. And it actually escalated fairly quickly, at which point I left, because I wasn't interested in getting into...
Were the police involved?
No, I did not call the police.
Well, then you're ahead of the game.
Yeah. So,
Do you have any documentation of the prior incidents to be able to walk through it with them?
not really.
Okay. So these are verbal contracts?
Yeah.
Do you have the sense that he knew when you said, okay, go ahead and fix it, that he wasn't planning on paying for more service?
I did not. If I had had the sense, I would have done it.
Was there a reason that you didn't give him a price when you said, yeah, this is a separate issue, and he said, go ahead and fix it? You didn't say, hey, it's going to be X amount of dollars, because then that would have brought up, that it definitely was no mincing words, a paying situation.
Yeah, I did not do that, but I've done work for him in the past, and what I charge is what I charge, so he's familiar with what my rates are.
So he's paid you in the past, on time, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple rate structure from what I know, right?
Yeah. So he's definitely a grinder.
He's a grinder. I'm glad you brought that up, Dave.
But you said from the first visit to the second, normally you would have charged what you did?
Yeah.
That's something
I mean, because it's just me, I have a great deal of flexibility in my rates, and it was within, I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was within a week of that first call for that issue that he called me back. And so it was, the guy keeps reinfecting his computer, okay? And in his mind, that's the same issue, and what I do should stop that. Well, I can give him advice. If he doesn't follow my advice, then I can't help him. So the second time was sort of the trying to keep a client happy kind of thing, and it didn't really take me that long. So, and it's not like I'm out of pocket money. So I just did it, and and it was fine when I left. The machine worked fine, and there was no problem with it.
I guess my thought would be is just to clarify it so that he knows that he could have been charged.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because then, to me, then you're sort of setting a tone of what the next step is. You're doing him a favor. You could have charged him, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And,
What's the value of future business? Can you see a lot? I mean, if the guy's infecting his computer all the time, no? Well then,
Is he going to say nasty stuff about you on the internet?
Probably not.
Do you want to say nasty stuff about him?
I don't get the sense that he's the type of guy that would badmouth me in the community. If I'm correct, he's a day trader. That's his job, so it's not like he's out, talking to people, and so I'm not like super worried that I'm going to get a bad. I have a really good reputation in the community, so I've got thousands of happy customers. So 2 or 3, I wonder why they bother me, but that's just the way I am. I don't like having happy customers.
Was part of your advice to him to maybe
Don't be a dick.
form a human relationship, and then he wouldn't infect his computer so much?
might be cheaper in the long run.
It was outside the scope of work.
So, and even, it wasn't a great deal of money. It's just the principle of the matter that, I don't like having my work called into question, because frankly, I do good work, and I don't like that. And then to have him say, I'm not paying you, it's like, you might as well just slap me in the face kind of thing. But, yeah.
Has the client called you since then?
No.
Okay.
And so some of the advice I've gotten is, if he does call again, just say, I don't think we're a good fit.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing.
On the other hand,
Or not can't make it happen.
on the other hand, I could just say to him, yeah, I'll come and fix it, but it's gonna cost you, double my normal rate, which would get me paid for the last one.
Well, yeah, you gotta clear the balance. Yeah, go in and then, well, you're gonna pay me on this one, right?
So if he did call me, say I don't think we're a good fit, then I will say to him up front, this is how much it's going to cost you, and I'm not coming unless you pay me when I walk in the door.
I find a lot of times a real simple solution is just to have a lawyer write a letter, not to take them to court, not to process anything, just have them, that letter just arriving in their mailbox usually gets paid to come out.
And you can do that pretty simply just by using the Better Business Bureau services. They've got an arbitration service right there that's free of charge. They write the letter.
Only if you're a member.
Pretty much it. I don't believe so.
You still have an invoice, by the way?
I typically don't write an invoice until
I'm saying in this way, just at least cover your basis, like, set an invoice, paper trail, this date, service on this date, and if you want to do something, at least you can say, hey, I didn't wait until 10 years later to create this case.
Yeah.
At least let's say Keith, the wonderful Keith Wazowski over there, puts it in a small claims for $200, or who cares what it is, let's say it's 1,000.
Yeah.
Half the times I see a lot of these guys, if I go in as a courtesy to someone with small claims, the judge says, well, why are you suing today? Or where's your documented proof? Where's this? Send him the invoice. He might pay, he might not, and if he pays, great, and if he doesn't, you got a paper trail.
Yeah.
Back stuff up.
It's not, and really, it's not a lot of money, so it's not really even worth my time and effort to pursue it. It's just a person that I think I'm just going to write off as a client, and I'm going to move on. In fact, I already tried to move on, and Neil wanted me to talk about it tonight.
Nobody else had any questions, Dave?
Well, I think
that's true. He said multiple times, I'm moving on.
I'm moving on.
Drinking
But I think, you drop it where it is, you're moved on from it, but it's from all the feedback, right? If there's something to take away from it moving forward, this is part of the risk of when we have the fly-by-night, well, it's just me, so I'm loose with stuff, verbal agreements.
Yeah.
And pay afterwards. I mean, I get paid in advance almost all the time, so I don't actually deal with that kind of a situation.
Right.
But that's the having expectations clear and then having the paperwork to validate it if you want to do something, so that there's nothing left, so if someone's not paying you, it's just because he's being a dick, and not because there's some sort of misunderstanding.
I should send him that book.
Don't be a dick. Yeah. Spend some more money on it.
It's an ebook. Yeah, so that was the situation, and it's again, I've got thousands of happy clients, and probably over 9 years, maybe 3 that aren't happy. So I wonder why that bothers me so much, and I guess that's just me.
Well, and you brought up the grinder aspect, which I think we've talked about in the group before. I've definitely covered that in the 5 minutes.
Can we define this grinder aspect?
Yeah, so like the idea is, and this was like an article I read back before I was, like when I was working for somebody else, it was like trying to figure out, I guess, how to be in business kind of thing. But the overall idea behind it is just like you have 100 clients, right? There's a handful at the top that are like, these are like the best clients. They're amazing. They never like push back on price. They trust you with your own abilities. So they just say like, kind of go for it, do your thing. These are like the dream clients. There are not a lot of those, right? You're not going to have a full list of them most likely.
And then they tell other people about you.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. These are your biggest champions typically. They're going to like go around telling people about you because they let you do your own thing. Typically you can do better work for them. That's that whole aspect.
And
go Dave.
In the car business, they're the people that actually have paid the most money.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you read that article I sent you?
I did read the article, but I also know it from experience.
You should send everybody there.
Yeah, well, I will
you did,
after this.
actually.
Yeah, I did once before, but it was a while back. And then the bottom 10% are grinders, and these are the people that like will beat you up on price. They are going to be over your shoulder the whole time and like micromanaging you. They're not going to. John, you know somebody like that?
I do.
Are they in the room?
I'm his grinder.
And,
I pay though, I pay. So.
Yeah,
paying is important. And they're not gonna like kind of tell other people how awesome you are. So like this is usually like the lowest reward, highest kind of time burden type client. So that's what, you know, if you keep going back to this guy all on one payment, then I don't know, almost by definition he's a grinder. Then he doesn't pay you on top of it. So that's the basic principle behind it. Is like, yeah, you've got cream of the crop and way at the bottom, and then most everybody's in the middle where they'll pay, and you know they'll have a little, you know, not that everything goes smoothly all the time. Might have a little more back and forth than you planned on or whatever, but yeah, you can open that if you want. No, it won't. But unless you stand.
But you can stand.
You can stand. That's why you were here.
It's a comfortable game.
You're my hero.
You're a champion.
So that's the thought there. I don't know, does that bring up any other, I guess, questions? Anybody? Or, I don't know, other thoughts?
I just think it's a very good idea to have a paper trail. You know, send them up, or even if you don't send, or just have a final invoice or something. Because you just never know where things can lead. You know, it covers you.
So I have a question too, off of that. My question would be, why have grinders?
You should really fire your grinders. That's the idea.
Okay.
Is if you can identify them, then you should fire them. Sorry.
I mean, you
that's
can't
how-
always.
You know, I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. I think some grinders, you know, they pay the electric bill. You know,
Well,
they
it's
pay
not,
the water bill.
it's
You know,
not a true grinder if it's not like
Yeah,
killing
because
you.
we're talking about like the 10% at the bottom.
When you see their number in the caller ID.
Well, and you don't always know.
You don't know that they're a
that-
grinder until it's.
Like if you're if you're a car salesman and somebody walks up to you and wants to buy a car, you don't know from that first introduction if they're going to be a grinder or not. So
Yeah, you often have to like kind of experience it before you can, and there's obviously different levels as where it's just kind of a gradient, right? It's not like a well-defined like this is a grinder type thing, and people have different thresholds, right? Like if you're really busy, you maybe are going to be like, I don't want to deal with you now. But if you're like really starving for business, then you might keep the grinder on. I don't know. So.
Well, I think another piece of that is they may not start out as a grinder. I mean, I know from some experience, things were pretty good. And then 2 or 3 episodes later, for whatever reason, I mean, people change, their situation changes, all of a sudden now, you know, the grinder emerges, but perhaps wasn't apparent. I mean,
or the opposite. You know, I've had people that have grounded me in the beginning and have become like awesome loyal clients. You know, they just
because you endured it and you built a relationship.
the trust and confidence.
They built a rapport.
Yeah.
Well, in real estate, I mean, you get beat up and used a lot by clients, and a lot of times you don't know it until you're already out showing houses. And that's happened to me a couple of times, but I've had to change and actually on the initial consultation say, this is what I expect from you as my client. And you know, one of the things is, and I was kind of sharing this with Larry, is I had a client who showed a house Saturday before Easter. It's exactly what she wanted. 6-bedroom, 2 full bath in her price range, which you're not going to find a lot of, especially right now. And she didn't do her homework that I asked her to do to know her top number. So she said she wanted to call her bank on Monday to find out if she could afford it. And I told her, I said, you're going to lose this house. It's over. And sure enough, we went into a multi-offer situation Monday night, and I was there. So she gets another shot because I haven't spent a lot of time with her, and it still would be a good commission. But we're going to have another real conversation. Either you know your number and you're going to do the homework that I need you to do, otherwise I can't help you. Because there's an opportunity cost that you're going to invest in if you're dealing with these grinders on a daily basis of going out and finding someone that's going to be working with you. So you got to also build that trust and be their advisor, and you got to kind of get that sense in the initial consultation as well, and kind of get that through to them that.
Well, and then be clear.
Exactly.
Right? Even where some people, people can be ambiguous sometimes, fairly intentionally, when we're trying to, if we're trying to get a sale or something, then there's certain things we don't necessarily want to clarify and hope that it works out later. I've seen it as a pattern anyway. So being rigorous about, here's what you can expect from me, here's what I expect of you, and if this isn't here, whether or not we have to sign a contract about it or bring lawyers in, just know that if this isn't happening, we're not happening.
Yeah.
And that'll be that.
Right.
It's hard for a start, we're starting our own business, and that kind of
Right.
thing. You don't want to walk away from that business, but again, you're going to invest
But
a
you
lot
may.
of time and money in that, and eventually you're going to walk away anyways, and you're going to, now you've already spent money instead of cutting it early and going to find that new client. That's
Well, and sometimes you may not know. You have to actually have what you're offering and what you're looking for to be able to be clear about it. And sometimes that's missing, especially early startup.
Yeah, and when you're hungry at the beginning, like you might not even, like you almost have to experience both a good client and a bad client sometimes to know the difference.
It helps define your offerings at that point.
Mhm.
You can say, I like this setup, I don't like this, and then you can set that expectation going
Yeah.
forward. But I know in my experience, expectation is very important. You say precisely what you're going to do, most often get it on paper. If it's a new client, you get at least partial payment up front, and it avoids the situation of being upside down on a client.
And make sure you thank your good clients.
Right.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Make sure to reward and take care of the ones that aren't grinding.
Yeah. Yes. Let them know
If you
that
have
they're
all
good.
grinders, it might be because you suck at what you're doing.
That's a all grinder world of whiskey.
They're all grinders, yeah.
That's all you.
You should like publish that.
Or that would be a tattoo somewhere.
Well, that actually, that was the other kind of stock question I put together was, in it, the good client aspect. I don't know, what are people's kind of practices in terms of like touches on good clients, like people that you hope to get more business from, or kind of touches on potential clients or things like that? Like how often are you trying to reach people, like have a conversation with them kind of thing? Like if you have your best clients, if you thank them, how often, like how do you thank them, and is it on schedule or is it like just when you see them on the street?
I think it depends per business.
Yeah, I'm just asking for, I'm not saying like there's a blanket rule, just what.
Good ones I'm in contact with every week. Every week, with the good clients. The okay clients, I send them out, I do the 12 touch program. I send them out a different type of touch each month. Just try and, remind them I'm still here. But the good ones, I'm on top of all the time.
What is the 12 touch?
Like basically one touch a month, whether it's a phone call, an email, a thank you card, sending out a gift card, just kind of different, and make sure you change it up so that you're touching them in different ways.
This started with the Catholic Church, I believe.
The priests are my best clients.
That's probably just.
But anyway, so that's what I
I totally agree with that. And typically when I go into a client, or like, whether it's my good clients or my bad clients, I always try to ask them how do you want me to follow up? And I set that up on their schedule when I'm putting them into my system, so to speak, so that it pops up and reminds me. But what I found is that my good clients, and I'm talking to them every week, if not, 2 or 3 times a week, because they're just constantly ordering from me, which is a great thing. But then when it comes to my slower clients, the ones that I know they're on the schedule to do things at certain points in time, I make sure that I'm meeting them, in that halfway mark, just reminding them about something, or, I find an interesting article, forward it to them, things that I relate to them. And it works really well, just to keep people, keep me top of mind, as well as show them that I'm really interested in what it is they're doing and how their life is going.
Yeah. Do you ever find that have you ever found that you've overdone it?
Oh, hell yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, a few times actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty entertaining. I learned a very valuable lesson.
I typically will call my clients 2 or 3 days after I do work for them. The good clients love it.
Mhm.
The grinders always complain.
How many grinders do you have?
Not many. But they're typically the people that are, grudgingly happy.
Right.
And then I ask for their okay, but typically I will put every client on my email newsletter list, and then they'll get my
Crash through here, sorry.
they'll get my email newsletter when I send it out. So.
All right.
Whenever I contact, I was trying to offer something of value. I'm in the health field, so there's just so much information I can, so I'm always, just some little thing that I can, so it almost doesn't seem like a contact in a way, it almost seems like I'm just offering something, but it's a subtle way of just being.
I got a question. How do you guys do with your e-newsletters? When you meet a new prospect or a new client, do you ask them, can I put you on my list? Or do you just
Sure.
put them on my list?
I think it's important to ask.
I usually throw them on if they hook up with me on LinkedIn. I'll throw them on because that to me is a invitation to some sort of
And then I took that idea. So I took all my LinkedIn contacts into
On LinkedIn,
So now we're all getting way more emails.
On LinkedIn, they can also refuse. If you just add them to your whatever constant contact or whatever, I guess they can unsubscribe. But
I should be able to
So
do
that's-
any kind of
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah, I mean, they can always do that after
That's
one.
what because and because I get so many like LinkedIn requests that like are people I've never met in person.
You're just that popular.
No, I don't think I am. I think that's just what people do.
Yeah, because
these days,
LinkedIn
right? Like,
itself, you got good
yeah.
keywords setting up.
people see it as a status symbol if you've got like 9,000 contacts on LinkedIn. It's like, ooh,
Yeah, it is. That's the whole point, isn't it?
My friend list is bigger than yours.
But I'll because they've made that outreach, I'll usually like say, all right, well, you want to be my friend on LinkedIn or contact or whatever, and then you're going to get my email. Like, I feel like that's
There's a price for my pen.
If you use Mailchimp for your email newsletter, when you add somebody, there's actually a box you have to check
Oh, same
to say that they gave you permission to. I mean, it doesn't make a difference whether you check it or not, but at least they're asking, did you ask permission to put this person on the list?
And you can always lie.
They've got themselves covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you define permission? I guess.
And then
They didn't say no.
And then what I do for my email newsletter is some people like send one a week or one a month or whatever. I actually just send mine when I have something to say, and in my mind at least, it's something important. And then I get about a 60% open rate, which is, from what I understand, is pretty high.
Yeah, it's very high, yeah.
Even though everybody has asked, that's on there is asked to be on there, I don't understand why 40% of people don't open it, but whatever.
They were just being polite.
But
It's because of that they need your help.
yeah, if like I just sent some guidance on the Hartley vulnerability. Okay, so that's a pretty important issue right now for internet and computers and stuff. So I wanted to give some guidance on it. I gave some guidance on the crypto locker thing. So that was important enough for me to say to my clients, this is something that you need to know. So now when my clients get my email newsletter, they know that it's something that they should be paying attention to, not just some marketing thing that says, call me if you need me kind of thing.
Every communication of mine is something they should be paying attention to.
What's your open rate? 100%.
About 30.
That's what mine is, 30.
That's,
When does everybody get?
Which is
What do you
still
get?
higher than average, right?
Oh, it's very high.
It depends on your. We do a newsletter. We'll throw something up on our blog on the website about once a week. Someone in the company, and then twice a month we send out a newsletter that's got the two most regarded or what we think is the best articles in it, and then some other information. So twice a month it goes out. It's about 30-ish %.
That's pretty good. I measure mine by my click-through rate and my actual response when I get back.
Right.
We got a 2% actual reply.
Yeah.
Where they come back and talk to us, which is pretty good.
That is
We got
very good.
a few thousand
Yeah.
newsletters we send out, so it works out neat, because a lot of our emails, we try to almost start a discussion. You know, like we've got maybe it's a new product that's coming out. I mean, not all the time we do this, but we've got a new product or a new marketing tool that's out there that's available. Just to try to generate that discussion for somebody to come back and say, hey, this is something we're interested in. And we actually do pretty darn well on it, which is nice. It keeps the discussion going.
Yeah, well, and that matters too, like what is your measure, right? So if you're looking for purely engagement, especially if you're having specific calls to action and all that, then that's what you would measure. We don't, we just went to this format, I think about 3 months ago. And so it hasn't been a big sample for it, and we've had no direct, you know, this is not a, we're giving you this, and by the way, here's this thing we're rolling out, and we've done nothing like that the whole time. So it's really just about, we're really looking to measure, is what we're saying landing and being valuable for people, which certainly the click-throughs, right, and the level of response. And we all, most of us in the group are sending out through social media, different groups on LinkedIn, you know, we're linking out to the actual posts that way too. And we tend to get actually more direct response that way than we do with people reading the newsletter, going on, commenting, because when you get an email, you're going to sit there, you're going to read an article, and then you're going to, you know, get into it. You know, that tends to be, if people are on social media, they're kind of already in that mode. So that's where we get our most engagement. But again, the open rate right now we're kind of satisfied with, but we're looking to have the click-throughs and stuff go up. And it's, you know, I think sometimes we can rush to judge the results of things. You know, like an actual experiment to see if something works, you need a decent sample size. And so for us, you know, once we cross 3 months and then heading into 6, okay, now you got a good sense. It's not this, oh, there's this newsletter, I've never seen this before, so you have this massive open rate, because people think, like Dave, this is this thing, this is direct communication to me. Once all that stuff levels out and people get a sense of what we're putting out there, then we can, then you want to, once you have the sample size good enough, then you can look back at the results, evaluate it, and then we'll start, maybe we'll start putting in calls to action, or we'll just go with the provide value and it'll turn out okay model, like the event.
And that goes back to like CJ Maurer, right? Always talks about the buying cycle, and like any like exercise like that, if you're not doing it long enough to give people like a chance to go through the whole buying cycle and being ready to buy your product, then like, yeah, it's just for fun, I guess.
Right, because you know, they're going to be in different spots, and as your newsletter, you know, if you're reaching with the open rate even, or without that, you know, what are the numbers? And if you're talking to 50 some people who are actually like only seeing it, then hitting them at a point where you're going to be in the right spot where they're, oh, this makes sense for me, and this speaks to a concern, let's have a conversation, let's talk about service. That stuff coalescing, at least for what we do, right? I mean, maybe like you're selling widgets or something, right? And someone, oh, hey, I'm not going to grab that right now. It's a different game. But when you're talking about, you know, thousands of dollars a month for some sort of really on-board intensive consulting, then you need to hit them at the right spot. So we're doing to just keep on delivering the content, just keep on speaking to what people say they're dealing with. And you know, people spread, yeah, they'll come to us, or they'll talk, they'll share it with people that it will make a difference for. And if we have if we get no one who buys directly from that and end up with some sort of a reputation for actually delivering value, I'm pretty sure that's going to work out okay for us. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong. And it might be, you know, I should be.
We'll see it.
Hardcore, you know?
We'll see at the end of the buying cycle. Let us know. All right. Well, I don't have any other stock questions. So if nobody else has got anything going on, we might wrap up a few minutes early. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Good. Perfect. All right.
Yeah. After party at Gabriel's Gate.
Hang on one. Let me see if I have anything else down here. Oh yeah. All right. So I don't really have anything else to say, I guess. So feel free to just kind of you can stick around for a while. I'll be here for a little while. There's food and kind of juice and beverages and stuff in the back.
Anybody that's interested in joining a networking group, I know a number of you here are already on our Friday morning group, but we meet every Friday morning at Asher's Juice Bar on Elmwood, 1002 Elmwood Ave, right near the corner of Bidwell, 7:30 to 8:30. Have about 20 people normally, so if you're interested, feel free to show up. No need to RSVP or let us know you're coming, just show up.
Yeah. And Angie, you came in late. Do you want to tell people who you are?
I am Neil's studio partner. We share the space here. Split rent down the middle, works out well for us. And I'm a photographer. I do mostly weddings and a little bit of commercial stuff. And yeah.
All right.
Take
cool.
pictures, man, and I love it. It's a good job. Yeah.
All right. We're going to shut down the webcast. We're good to go. Everybody disperse.
Cool.
Or you can pretend to shut it down and capture people's private conversations or whatever.